Oh. 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 Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Whatever important devices that you have to use today, what did you do with them last night? You plugged them in, yes, so that they're powered today. If it's not important to you, you wouldn't be concerned whether it's powered or not. I want you to visualize that Meaningful Mornings is the same way. In the morning, we plug in to the presence in me, the presence in you, so that our mind is powered for the rest of the day. So the next time you plug in your iPhone, what should you be thinking about? Meaningful Mornings. One of the most meaningful utsavas, festivals in our culture, is Navaratri to Dashami. 9 nights leading to the 10th day. Here's an understanding of this festival in a simple way. Our default tends to be tamasic. And so what do? We invoke Devi Parvati. What that feels like every day is activity. We continue with the celebration. Our default is now Rajas. So what do? We invoke Devi Lakshmi. And what that looks like in our day is responsibility. Now our default is Sattva. And what do then? We invoke Devi Saraswati. In our day, what this looks like is humility. From activity to responsibility to humility. When this is completed, what does one feel? Vijaya. That one has become victorious over their own ego. Now layer that upon chapter 3, 4, 5, 6. Bhagavad Gita's chapter 3, dedication. The evolution of this, chapter 4, dedication without deservership. The evolution of this path, dedication without deservership and doership. This is what we're immersed in right now. And when all of this is completed, chapter 6, the feeling will be delight. Those who are adept at contemplation are ever delighting. In chapter 5, a word that is commonly used is renounce. We have to approach this logically. Why would one engage in renouncing? Only when they're rejoicing. If you have joy in your personality, you will naturally let go of trying to find joy in any other direction. Shared in a different way, the more independent one becomes. What have you renounced? Your dependency. Where is it? In you. The more you will be immune from every experience, equipment, and ego. Immunity is when you are not affected by a particular entity. Here I've shared experiences and our equipments and ego. When we're not affected, then all is as all is. Let me share this in a practical way. If you're driving and the weather is poor, but your mind is balanced and focused, does that weather affect your driving then? It doesn't. All is as all is. You are driving to this destination, and that's not going to be affected. For those who are reflecting on what I'm sharing, all is as all is will come out very strongly in chapter 11. Shri Krishna is trying to teach Prince Arjuna about sthane. All is as all is, but that's many chapters from now. I'm only planting the seed for all of us to reflect on. How do I start? Practice this renunciation with articles. Have materials. We all have to have materials. Renounce being a materialist, which is someone who feels more complete because of that material, that article. This becomes training. If you practice with articles, it becomes training for circumstances then. What are circumstances? What do they evoke from us? Dislikes and likes, correct? I dislike this circumstance. I like this circumstance. That becomes training for renouncing the dependency on beings. What is that? Agency, doership. Is everyone following? If you practice with articles, this will train you for circumstances. That means less expectations, which will train you for living with beings, which is less ego. The one who practices this, na chirena, in no time will they experience joy. Will they experience vastness? Yesterday, I incorrectly shared, because I was so excited, na achirena, which means in no time, which means a long time. So I'm correcting that. Na chirena. Chirena means a postponement. Na chirena, no postponement. Now reflect on your life. Whenever there's a postponement or procrastination, who's responsible for that? If there's any postponement in you experiencing joy, it's because of your postponement of effort. Hence, I keep using words like practice and live. Pujaswami Tejramayananda described verses 6 and now 7 as marvelous. And then tomorrow we'll tune into 8 and 9, which are awesome verses. We're in a special section of chapter 5, verse 7. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyaha sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. The first quarter, the first word, yoga yukta, the one who's united with yoga. In English, following the path based on their own evolution. Simply put, they're engaged with the right attitude, in the right actions, and so they're nurturing the right Atma. They're coming to know who they are, that they are vastness. Chapter 2. Specifically, where is this nurturing happening? Vishuddha Atma. That symbolizes the intellect. Their intellect is becoming more still. What does this feel like? Less desires. That then causes Vijita Atma. This symbolizes the mind. A mind that is quietened. What does this feel like? Less thoughts. When you get into an argument or when you're trying to sleep and you can't stop thinking about that argument or why you can't sleep, don't you wish for this Vijita Atma? And this then becomes a catalyst for Jita Indriya, to have a calm body. And what this feels like is less actions. Here, less actions that are unintentional, okay? The one who's now nurturing the right Atma, their intellect is still or more still, the mind is quiet, and the body is calm. This is the effort we have to put in. That first line, the second line will be the result. If, then. Bhutatma, Sarva Bhutatma. You will feel who you are is the same as every being. That means humans and animals and plants and stones. The way you feel your hand right now, if you pinch it, you feel it. You will feel that same sense with every being. Now, how is that logically, functionally possible? The only facet of life that unites all of us is life, but here I'm changing the word to existence. Every being exists, yes? Whether humans or animals or plants or stones. Stones don't have skin. I can't say that skin unites all of us. Not all beings depend on oxygen. That doesn't unite us either. But most definitely, it is existence. And that is the clarity of Sanatana Dharma. I've shared with all of you, the word Sanatana means infinity. It means unchanging. Sanatana Dharma is not built on rituals. Rituals don't unite us. What you do in the morning and what I do in the morning, even though now it's the same, it's meaningful mornings, but how cheerfully you woke up and how cheerfully I woke up is very different. And that's why also in Sanatana Dharma, there's no conversion. Convert you into what? Into existence. Kurvan api na lipyate. Kurvan api, though acting, na lipyate, they are not affected, or more deeply, they are not acting. What a teaching. Though acting, not acting. A previous verse, the one who sees, sees. What this is indicating is one who has realized their existence, the existence of all, from another's perspective, they are acting, but from their feeling, they are being. They are not doing, they are being. Experiences, equipments, egos, they do. It's a disease, the disease of becoming, not existence. Existence is being. See, there's a message for you every day. Be. And the next two verses will amplify this. I had told you about these verses in the middle of November, and I told you I'll remind you in the middle of January. So now I'm doing that. From inspiration to application. A recent application of yours was to rate how judgmental you are. And I shared with all of you to work hard and smart on reducing your judgment. That way you become more like Arjuna. And who was the one who was always looking at and looking after Arjuna? Shri Krishna. If you don't make yourself Arjuna, then though Shri Krishna is looking at and after us, but we won't feel it. We're too lost in our own judgments. Another recent application is, though all of you will be enlightened in this lifetime. Prince Arjuna was enlightened in 700 verses. We're already 30% more enlightened. What do you wish for that if you're not enlightened in your next lifetime? I'll give you a quick reference to reflect on, even though those who shared on our website, your reflections are lovely. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Krishna tells rishis that more purifying than tirtha means holy water, more purifying than a murti, which is an icon, is a sadhu. Why? In terms of holy water and a noble icon, that purification depends on your power. If you have less faith, less purifying. But in reference to a sadhu, one who is noble, it depends not on your power, but their power. And so they can purify us more. And so my observation here is I would only have one wish if I'm not enlightened, and it would be for bhakti. That I love Bhagwan. And only Bhagwan. Because then he will provide all that is needed for me to be with her, be with him. Your application for this morning is, I want you to count, keep a sheet of paper with you, count the number of times you postpone. Postpone whatever. Hanging your coat up, driving through a green light, etc. Count how many times you engage in chirena. Chirena means time. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.